Hello folks, Andy Bell here from Spirit of 2016, coming to you with what is going to be the first of a series of summer weekly roundups all around the Northern Ireland national team and the Green and White Army. So the idea of this is kind of, if people listen to our podcast or have been listening and watching us for a couple of years, we basically only really do stuff around the international games. And the rest of the coverage is kind of done on Facebook, on Twitter, and all over social media in writing. So I thought for this pre-season, I'd give this a go. We always like to try some new things here at Spirit of 2016, see what works, see what doesn't, see what you guys like, see what you don't. So over the next 6, 7, 8 weeks, until the transfer window closes probably until Lithuania away in September, I'm going to be on here every Thursday or Friday, just doing a quick roundup of what's been going on in the summer, whether that's pre-season friendlies, whether that's some European action our players are involved in, transfers, or just whatever is kind of pertinent in the news of the Northern Ireland national team as we wait to play our qualifiers in September. So I thought I'd start today with a bit of a roundup of what's been happening in the first week or two of pre-season. Obviously, a lot of our players are at clubs who are playing in Europa League qualifiers, Champions League qualifiers, Conference League qualifiers. We've got a lot of players in Scotland, so the players who aren't playing in Europe and Scotland are playing in the League Cup group stages, so they'll have 4 games under their belts, competitive games before the SPL season starts, so the Scottish Championship. So we'll have a bit of a chat about that. We'll do some transfer rumours as well as some transfers that have gone through, and we'll finish by talking a little bit about Jamal Lewis, because there's been some interesting stuff that's come out about him in the last few weeks. So yeah, dead quick, let's start with the Scottish League Cup. So there's been a couple of games played so far. Hearts have been involved. Obviously they're not involved in Europe this year. We've got a couple of players at Hearts, Michael Smith and Liam Boyce, and they've been doing quite well. So before the start of this League Cup, they played a couple of friendlies. Boyce got a couple of goals, and Smith seems to like assisting only Boyce, which is interesting. Could be a nice little link up if we do choose to maybe play Dallas in midfield at some point, and Liam Boyce up top. So Boyce is 2-2 in these League Cup games so far. In fairness, we have to caveat that with they are against Scottish League 1, Scottish League 2 teams, even Scottish Championship. It is kind of 2nd, 3rd, 4th division. We do know Boyce can score at that level, but still good for him to get some competitive games under his belt and get some goals as he goes back into the Scottish Premiership, which will obviously be a massive step up in quality. But we know that he's capable of scoring at that level, because he has done before, whether it's at Ross County, whether it's at Hearts. So yeah, 2-2 for Boyce. Smith got a couple of assists there as well. And another player, a bit of a mad one who has been in competitive action this week is Kyle Lafferty, who was playing in the Cypriot Super Cup for Anorthosis Famagusta. A brave man for attempting that, but they played a Super Cup game as they were the Cypriot Cup champions from last season. They were playing against the league champions Omonia Nicosia. They drew 1-1 and lost on penalties. Unfortunately, Kyle Lafferty actually did miss the winning penalty. I had a look at the highlights, and it wasn't a bad pen. Good block from the keeper, very powerful, typical Kyle Lafferty effort, really. But looking at the 7 or 8 minute highlights that you can have a look at on the official, I think it's the official Anorthosis channel on YouTube, Lafferty did seem to be involved. And the worry that we always have with Lafferty in a Northern Ireland shirt, when he hasn't been match fit or when he isn't getting games at these mad clubs and mad countries he seems to go to, he can look a bit void in games. He can let a game go past him and play 70 minutes without really touching the ball, never mind creating a big chance. So yeah, had a couple of efforts, had a speculative, to say the least, overhead kick, which you can go back and have a look at, and was kind of involved in the goal as well. So all positive there, and I'm sure he won't let that penalty miss get to him. They actually do play in the 3rd round of the Europa League as cup winners from last season, as do St Johnstone. We'll come on to talk about Ali McCann and some rumours around him later, but he is still there. So keep an eye on the draw that comes up this Monday. It's for the Champions League 3rd round, Europa League 3rd round, and Conference League 3rd round. So you could have Rangers, Aberdeen, St Johnstone, Famagusta, Kyle Lafferty, and even in the Conference League, some of the Northern Irish clubs, if we're lucky enough for them to get through. You might know that by the time this goes out, so good luck to obviously Larne, Coleraine and Glentoran tonight, and good luck to Linfield as well as they drop into the Conference League for the next round. Just in other actual pre-season friendlies, non-competitive games, good to see Shane Lavery getting the score sheet, scored a flicked header against Southport. I watched that game, was very bored on Saturday, so that's why. And he came on, he did well. Blackpool were actually playing with 10 men. That a player came off injured at the start of the second half, so not the easiest of debuts, but yeah, good to see him get a goal. Goals also for Connor Washington against Celtic. Alfie McCalmont on his debut sort of debut for Morecambe. Under Stephen Robinson there, going up into League One, and Dion Charles and David Morgan of Accrington as well. So good to see some of our players getting on the score sheet, albeit they are playing against teams in the 6th, 7th, 8th division, so we can't look a lot into it, but still good that they're scoring, getting a bit of confidence in pre-season. And we'll see how they fare in August when everything starts back up again. So yeah, moving on to some transfer rumours. By the way, on the actual transfers, Ben and Pete did quite a decent review of that on our 4th Euros podcast, which you can find on SoundCloud, Spotify and iTunes. So if you want to go back and have a look at that, or have a listen to that, they kind of covered Lafferty, Smith, Ballard, Saville, a lot of these players that have gone through. So that's why I'm not covering those on this show. So end of the 4th Euros podcast and start of the 5th, if you want to go back and have a look at that. A big one is obviously Galbraith to Sunderland, which has been kind of raging through the rumour mill in the last couple of weeks. So it does look like Galbraith's going to go out on loan this season, which I think some Northern Ireland supporters would say is long overdue, especially given how well McCann did in League 2 last season. But yeah, it seems that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come out and said this week that because some of the players coming back from the European Championships to Manchester United are arriving back a little bit late, he wants to give some of these young players a go in pre-season. So he says a lot of the young players will be involved in his Derby County on Saturday. So we could see Galbraith get some first team action in pre-season and then going out on loan at the start of August, is what Solskjaer said. He didn't actually mention Galbraith in that, but we can all kind of join up the dots there. So yeah, if he does go to Sunderland, I think that's a great first loan move. And you look at somebody like McCann, albeit he's probably not as highly rated as Galbraith. He went down, did well at League 2, and only now is he at Morecambe, who have just got promoted to League 1, and that's his 2nd season in senior football. So for Galbraith to be going straight out to a Championship, or to a League 1 club, chasing promotion, we think it's an interesting one for Galbraith, because he's a very kind of technical player, and while he will learn the rough and tumble of senior football down there, it's good that he's in a team that's probably going to be dominating most games and expecting to win most games. So for a player like Galbraith, you want him to be in a team which has quite a lot of possession rather than, for example, just the ball bypassing the midfield. So I think that's an important one for him, and if that goes through, I think that could be quite a positive move. And obviously he's half the Northern Irish population there to make him feel welcome. So yeah, there's that. There's rumours about a Peacock-Farrell loan to the Championship. Apparently Sheffield Wednesday were interested. Now they're League 1, so Burnley seemingly are keen to get him to move out to the Championship. So we'll wait and see on that one. Apparently they're waiting to see if they can get Wayne Hennessy in from Crystal Palace on a free transfer before they let Peacock-Farrell go out on loan. So yeah, I think he's at the point in his career, and even thinking towards these games in September, October and November, where we just need him to get some football, get a match sharpness, and make sure he's in fine fettle for these games. Because if we are to somehow spring a miracle and qualify ahead of Switzerland, then we probably already going to need him to have some of the games of his life. So yeah, let's wait and see on that one. McCann and Charles are two players everyone expected to go this summer, but it's gone a little bit quiet on them. I think St Johnstone are reportedly looking at a fee of 1.75 million, which would be a record for them, and Accrington are looking up to 2 million for Charles. So there's no doubt that those players are going to be courted. There are going to be teams in for them. But as with a lot of clubs this summer, they're looking to kind of sell before they can get some transfer funds in to buy these players. So I'd say it looks good for Charles. Listen, he's a striker. Strikers will always go for decent money. There's always going to be a Championship team desperate enough for a number 9 that they'll take a punt on him. As somebody who got over 20 goals in League 1 last season, for McCann it might be a little bit more difficult. He might even look at if St Johnstone get into the Europa League group stages, he might have a look at that and think, I could do a season here. I can still develop here. St Johnstone obviously have an interesting project going on there, and even get some European football. So who knows? Apparently Stoke are interested, but there's a million and one different ones. And just to finish, that'll kind of do on the transfer rumours. But there was some interesting quotes coming from Steve Bruce this week, and the journalists around Newcastle, which seem to suggest that Jamal Lewis is going to get his chance next season. There's rumours that Matt Ritchie, who initially displaced him in the Newcastle lineup last season, he's going to go to Bournemouth apparently. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And if so, Bruce says the last season it was a learning curve for Jamal Lewis, but he's a terrific athlete, he's a terrific boy, he's a good learner, takes everything on board, and looks like he is going to get another chance next season. So 3rd season in the Premier League for Lewis, getting another chance to prove himself at that level, which is only a positive for us as Northern Ireland fans and how well we rate him. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to try and get this under 10 minutes. So just dead quick, subscribe to us on YouTube. We're going to be starting to put some of the podcasts on here that we do, certainly over Zoom, and give us a follow on Twitter as well, at Spirit of 2016 Pod. So hope you enjoyed this weekly roundup. I'll be back next week with another, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.